you're drunk and maybe you've done and you're talking to someone's ear off, and suddenly you have this sting in your chest that is like, I don't
what
want
am
to
I
be
doing?
Yeah, I don't want to be
What am I doing?
wasting so much. This is going nowhere. Keypad together makes a screen where it's like super high-res display in each key, and then you could have like procedurally generated fish in an aquarium that swim away every time you press a key. They like shoo away, and
That's so crazy.
Because I think I'm peaking. Peaking.
Welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast. How are y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
I'm vibing.
I'm excited. I'm stimulated.
Yeah, he just got off a flight.
oh yeah.
Honestly,
it
looks like he
15?
just got out of prison.
I just got. I've gotten that before.
Don't get me wrong, but orange is my favorite color. Make no mistake. But
I like wearing this for traveling for flights because it's very comfortable, and there's always someone making funny comments.
Is it always orange,
funny.
or do you have different colors?
I want to get like multiple of these in
Yeah.
different colors.
Yeah, I think
like
you
have a
should.
yellow, a green, a blue,
Nice.
an orange.
One for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yes,
Nice.
that's a good idea.
You ever get any weird stares when you're there? Like, not just because you're Virtual Riot, but because, you know.
You look like a prisoner.
Yeah.
No, the fit's hard. It's a pretty.
No, it is.
hard.
It's hard.
It's
So hard that
And like if it's a bigger airport, people wear weird or like extravagant stuff. Like there's like people in like crazy designer clothing and stuff
That's
at
true.
big airports. So it's
Yeah.
like you don't really stick out too
What
much.
I don't understand is people who fly long plane hours in jeans. Like, doesn't it get uncomfortable?
Yeah, I can't do that.
This is
I
why
can't do that.
airport fits are a thing.
yep.
Yeah.
Airport fits are a thing.
I'm going to get us started with our question of the day real quick, which is East Coast versus West Coast festivals. Which coast throws the best festivals?
I mean, I'm kind of biased. I mean, in California, West
You're
Coast.
biased because you don't go to any East Coast
No.
festivals.
Back up. I went to my first East Coast last year, and I actually
Project
really loved
Glow.
it.
Project Glow is okay at best.
Yes, but I actually
Damn.
really enjoyed
Okay,
it.
careful.
No, it's great. It's
Yeah.
great. But
Everyone in DC riots.
Yeah.
it's the asphalt and everything, and the vibe was only okay, and it was wet the year I went. But
It was hot.
I've gone to the East Coast quite a few times now for festivals, and the only reason I will say East Coast is better is because the only frame of reference I have is the NOS Stadium here in SoCal. If I went to like the Gorge more often, it would be a more difficult decision for sure.
What about Glen Helen?
I think
Glen
Europe.
Helen, yeah, but
Europe.
that's not the question.
That's not even.
Europe.
We're talking East Coast. We're
Well,
talking
I'm going
US.
out of the question. Europe, hands down, over
She's
the
talking
US.
about the most east
I
that
mean,
we
yeah,
can
but like-
get.
all the way, all the
But
way.
like between East and West Coast
I like
of
Europe.
America.
Okay.
Well, I only know this. I only know this and Europe.
I think
so.
we should ask the most qualified person
Yeah.
here. Is probably
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
most
yeah,
show.
there you go.
Here's why I'm not qualified though. Oh no! I've never gone to festivals to go to a festival.
I'm playing at
But
them.
in terms of like playing as an artist,
But that's always awesome.
That's
Anywhere, sort of. Like in very rare cases, is it a bad experience if it's like awfully organized in some way? But usually the bigger festivals are all really well organized, and I just get the experience from the DJ side, not the experience of someone goes there with their friends camping and like all of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's fair.
at Lost Lands, if I stay for the whole weekend, I have some time I walk around and see like everything, but still like never been to the campgrounds or something like that. That happens very rarely. Before I came to the US, I maybe played some shows in Europe, but I went to a club maybe once or twice. I went to concerts of bands when I grew up, but never went to clubs or raves or festivals like that.
So
that's
technically
kinda-
speaking, you were never a raver first. You were always
Yeah.
musician from the get-go.
And then when I came to America and started playing the festivals here, I was confronted with the rave culture here, and then suddenly it was like, wow, here people are wearing crazy things, and what is Blur, and this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then that was like, I didn't really feel a distinction between East and West Coast. It was just all really cool. And the only thing for me is like, if there's one festival per se that always sticks in my mind as just being really beautiful, where I spend a lot of time just walking around like an attendee, but this doesn't doesn't count because it was in Canada because it was Shambhala.
Wait, where are you from originally?
It's the North
Germany.
Coast.
Germany. Oh, so that's why when you came out here, when you saw the plur culture, you were
It
like,
was like
whoa, what is
shock.
this? Okay.
I mean,
Since
in Europe, there's like we have trance. There's a lot of trance, Goa and that kind of stuff, and that is very neon colors, I guess. But
like
I've never
candy
been
and
there.
puppets and like
that's
trinkets,
really-
like that's
yeah,
different.
and like flow art and that kind of stuff. I feel like especially Germany is more like house, techno, tech house.
Yeah.
There's like time warp, but people wear like black, and that's it. I think maybe.
yeah, since
I
you
don't know,
did
never
play, since you did play both coasts, are the crowds different from how you feel?
I think the festivals that I played on each coast were so big that they attracted people from kind of everywhere. So
That's
it was kind of hard to
true.
tell.
Super valid.
That's true.
Yeah, because it would be Electric Forest and the Gorge and Lost Lands and then EDCs in different locations. So it's like that's
that
kind of hard
makes
to compare
sense.
because it's just like everyone's there.
Yeah, what's funny is that every time I have attended an East Coast festival, the majority of the people that I would talk to were like, "Oh, I flew in from California. I flew in from Washington." So it's like I don't feel like I've gotten a lot of being able to like conversate with a lot of East Coast people.
Yeah.
Is it right that just from my perception that East Coast festivals that the East Coast might have more smaller festivals that
Yes.
are a little more
Yes.
special or undergroundy and like where like VJs are also on the lineup
Yes.
and it's like yeah.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
want to say that has a lot to do with, again, I'm bringing it back to NOS Event Center here in Southern California. A lot of the supermassives where there's like 4 or 5 different stages,
Yeah.
they're all at NOS.
Yeah.
And San Bernardino is not exactly the best like city, neighborhood, etc. But then you have the East Coast where you have like, a festival in Florida or Orlando, in Miami, in Okeechobee, in New York, etc. So
Yeah.
it's all these little tiny pockets,
Yeah.
and all those people come to those pockets.
Yeah.
In my experience of the East Coast festivals I've been to, I would say if there was like one distinct thing that I notice a difference between East Coast and West Coast is that the East Coast seems to be a lot less crowded. Except I know EDC Orlando this year was really crowded,
Very crowded.
but previously like Forbidden Kingdom, EDC
Project
Orlando,
Glow is actually pretty small.
Project Glow,
Yeah.
all of those are pretty much the only ones I've been to on the East Coast. But those I remember there being a lot of room in the crowds whenever we
I
went to
had
there,
so
which
much
was
room
really
to
nice.
dance. And I know that when I went to Project Glow and I talked to a lot of the East Coast ravers, they were actually surprised that I flew all the way from California to
same.
attend.
Same.
They're like, wait, why are you,
It's
why
usually
are
the
you
opposite.
here?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like with East Coast, a lot of the small pocket ones, local. It's like a local
But yeah,
festival.
it's like, I feel like Project Glow is very, very localized. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like they're also built a lot different than the West Coast festivals. I've noticed that on all of the East Coast festivals, there's always places where you can go and sit, and you can actually go and
Yes.
sit like
It's
very-
always in a forest.
yeah.
But that's just what comes into my head if I think East Coast. I mean, I haven't been to that many, but I just hear about like even where I moved now in Minneapolis, there's like Bass Ribbon, which is in a forest, and then people go to Infrasound, which is also kind of like more of these
Yeah.
like
I see.
left field bass kind of things.
Interesting.
And
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
would say, like, bringing it back to the question, I think in terms of like what is better, I definitely think that I've had a better time at some of these East Coast festivals than I have on the West Coast festivals, such as like stuff at the NOS.
I do like what you said though of how like you enjoy your experience no matter what. Like that is a
Yeah.
great attitude to have actually, because I didn't even think about that. I was like the attitude.
even
Yeah.
some of the festivals, like there was one that we got invited to do a disciple takeover. It was called Cluster with an X in West Virginia. And I think they did it twice and then it never happened again because it was so sad. I loved it. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was very hard to reach. So it was like in the middle of West Virginia between like all these hills and beautiful forest. It took a while to get there. And there was a beautiful natural amphitheater where probably 5,000 people would have fit into it. And the sound, just by how the architecture was made by nature with how the hill was shaped, the sound was perfect. And there were maybe 200 people.
Yeah.
But they still brought their own party bus. And we get there and the staff is like, hey, each of you, here's a key to your golf cart. You can just drive around.
That's so epic.
Yeah, and then the catering was amazing, and I
where
felt
is this?
so bad. This was in West Virginia, Cluster
It
with an
doesn't
X.
exist
It doesn't exist.
anymore.
And we did it once or twice.
Can we bring it back?
Yeah.
I want to experience
Buy it
that.
out.
Like the idea about it and the location, I think that was, I mean, the location itself was really nice. I don't know, maybe it's just like not very accessible. That is an important
That's
thing too. If you want to start a
probably
festival, it's
what-
going to be somewhere where people can like
Park.
somewhat get.
Yeah.
And marketing, let's be real.
beautiful.
Also, like festivals, they need good marketing, or an amazing festival could just go right over everyone's head.
Isn't that what Excision kind of did with Lost Lands, where like he did like a poll asking people how far they would be willing to travel, and then just overlapped all these circles on a map, and then kind of figured out where all of those overlap, and then Ohio was kind of like that. That's why that was chosen.
That's actually really
I
smart.
actually love that because
That's
I love how
funny.
he involved like he thought about the ravers and
Yeah.
like their
Yeah.
you know capability of like traveling and stuff. That's
Exactly,
really smart.
like positioning it so that the most people can come.
I have a friend who she's legally handicapped. So for Lost Lands, fun fact, ADA, the handicap services, top tier. So that's
Sick.
it's cool to hear that they take care of everyone.
Yeah, they're doing their job.
So anyways, welcome back to the I'm Peaking podcast. I'm Devin, and who else do we have here? I have an intro for you, so we're gonna go down the line.
I'm Mickey.
I'm Nand.
I'm Bren.
I'm Daniel.
And hope you're ready to step into the simulation, because today on the I'm Peaking podcast, we have an extremely talented guest and friend in the studio, one whose brilliant mind and unique style of production has earned him the utmost respect of the EDM community worldwide. From receiving a multitude of awards for his incredible splice samples, which have been downloaded over 5 million times, by the way, to having his sound design featured on Disney Plus's Star Wars The Mandalorian. I did not know that, by the way.
Wait.
Yeah.
Which one?
Disney Plus's?
No, I know.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah. No.
That's
But
epic.
which song? Like,
Oh,
Oh, I-
just my splice samples.
Ah.
made it
That's
into it.
epic. Oh,
I love
So
that show.
cool. It would seem that there isn't anything this classically trained producer can't do. He's toured all across the globe, worked with major artists like Skrillex, Zed, and Excision, just to name a few, and even holds the title of Beatport's best-selling artist of all time in the dubstep genre. Hailing all the way from Germany, well, now he lives in Minnesota, right?
Hailing isn't really the best word when it comes to Germany.
Got him, bro. Got him.
Wow.
Originating all the way
That was
from
ChatGPT.
Germany.
That was just right there for the taking. Sorry.
Originating all the way from Germany, I'd say his music is like a breath of fresh air, but it's more like a gulp of an energy drink. Virtual Riot, welcome to the podcast.
Nice. Thank you for having me. That was
Yes,
awesome.
sir.
Thank you for glazing me like a
You're
donut.
welcome.
That was so sweet. I also didn't know about the 5 million splice downloads. That's awesome.
That's really
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, well,
You didn't
congratulations.
even know.
Yeah, congrats on that, by
Yeah.
the way.
Sick.
Beatport's most prized possession.
I wanna throw a fun fact in there for everybody to know. Val here was actually supposed to be our very first guest on
right.
the podcast
3
couple
years
years
ago.
back.
Yeah.
I think we like everything was set and planned, and things changed, and we had to like work it out. But like I'm glad like you still came on.
Yes.
Like, I'm so happy to have you on.
It took time, but you're here.
Which number episode is this now?
62.
I think you
62.
were supposed to be like on episode 5 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you guys start this? podcast?
2022, November.
Yeah.
November
Damn.
2022.
I think our first
And
first
you're
two
already at like
episodes-
60. You guys have been cranking these out.
Yeah.
Damn. You guys
We
been
haven't
busy.
even been doing them
Crank.
to the full extent that we want to be doing them. We
Yeah.
do 2 a month, and we want to
Damn.
get to a point where we can do like 1 a week.
This is what we
That
could
would be great.
afford.
So, but yeah, this
Yeah.
is the most
Awesome.
we can manage for now.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of fun stuff planned for this year.
sure.
So
To be fair,
Yeah.
we also got to like expand manpower. Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
we're gonna want to expand to four episodes a month, we gotta like.
yeah. We're
'Cause
super
we're doing it-
thankful
yeah.
though that you made the time to come out here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thanks.
you.
Especially
Especially
after
from
not
a-
even living here when you used to live here before.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I still come to LA every once in a while, and now
Yeah.
I'm just for the listeners and viewers. I came in for NAMM because right now in Anaheim is the NAMM, which is a big convention for music production,
Oh, I
like
did not know
instruments, music software. It's this 5-day thing, like a big nerd fest where everyone has a booth, like Native Instruments and
That sounds right up your alley.
Kilohertz
Yeah.
and
I just
Isotope.
just
and
a
everyone.
just a small tidbit here is actually the first time I ever heard Val was on Andrew Huang's 4 Producers 1 Sample, and I just remember listening to this man talk about how he made the sample into the sound, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what this guy's saying, but it sounds awesome.
Shout out Andrew for having me on that.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was a great
That's
series,
definitely-
by the way. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already. 100%.
So I would like to actually touch back on something that you said earlier of how you came out here and like pluriculture was like so different for you. But when it comes to your music, like when you came out here, what music did you come out here with? And like, did you change your style of music for like the American audience?
It was so a little bit. It definitely had like a back and forth influence. Like I came out here and I had made the music that I'd made so far. And before I started playing here, I did some collabs already with people from here, like with Kill the Noise and with Dirty Phonics and stuff.
And this was dubstep.
Made some friends, and that was all dubstep. But it was like still all this very melodic stuff. And then I came out here and I played that and with like my heavy bro steppy stuff. But then I was subjected to all this rhythm stuff as well. And then that had some effect on the music that I would make again. And then I would try and make some of that. And that was also the nice thing about that time. I would be kind of playing every weekend somewhere else. So I could just make something during the week and then try it out the next weekend and see how it does. And then that sort of informs me back kind of what works live.
Yeah, like taking the feedback in.
Yeah. And at that time, a lot of the songs that I made were kind of like designed for that, like for this live thing. And then obviously sometimes the harder stuff worked better. So I drifted into the rhythm corner with the whole Pray for Rhythm EP and stuff. And then had to kind of dig my way out of that again.
So it was like a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, but I really like this, like having this back and forth between hearing something, also just listening to other people's sets as well, like hearing a lot of other people's music out here and seeing the sets and seeing how the crowd reacts to certain things. Just learning all these things of, for example, if it's a really big festival, sometimes I feel like the bigger the festival, the longer the build-ups. And it works in that moment because it's this crowd that shares this emotion and it's almost like a mass hysteria that in that case really works. If that was a 300 people underground venue, you could not play the same track that. Yeah. People would just be like, what are you doing? This isn't main stage.
Yeah, they know.
Wait, so were you playing the dubstep in Germany? Like,
yes, but there was only one club really where you could play that in Cologne, the Bootshaus.
Okay.
And the difference was stark. In Europe, when I started touring, it was 0 to 2 shows a month. And then as soon as I came over here, it was 2 to 3 a weekend.
Wow. Yeah.
And there were like so many more little clubs and festivals. And in Europe, I feel like, especially at that time when I moved, that was like almost 10 years ago, it was more drum and bass, I guess, because Rampage. Yeah. And then the rest is just all like, what you have at Tomorrowland on main stage and techno, tech house.
Definitely want to talk about some more drum and bass stuff later.
Yeah. I want to dive into more of this because I just love hearing about, just like you coming from Germany, coming out here, and especially like dubstep, because I know like out there dubstep, and now it's maybe like more, I guess, like acceptable, like especially like UK dubstep, but like heavy rhythm, like that's different.
Yeah, there weren't very many places even in Germany for that. Still really isn't. Like I have some homies in Germany who are also producers and they love that stuff, but it's like really hard for them to break out of that area, and like they need to get bookings in other places, in other countries, but then they need to get known there, and so that's helped a lot.
We did have one other topic we kind of wanted to go over before we end the segment, which was what is your guys' bucket list of international festivals this year?
This year? Or like in general?
Yeah,
just in general.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I'm hitting the international festival this year.
All of them.
Tomorrowland, obviously.
Tomorrowland's an obvious one.
Yeah.
Second obvious for me, EDC Thailand, just because I am Thai. So like seeing these recap videos and everything of Thai people going fucking ham is wild to me, because I'm like, oh God, Thai people don't act like that. And I'm seeing it happen. I'm like, yes.
And I know that it was difficult transportation wise to go to the festival, so I saw like a bunch of videos of people going on mopeds.
Yeah, wasn't Arias on mopeds or something?
I saw that on the Instagram stories. They're all like on mopeds.
I think
going to the festival.
People got humbled. People got heavy humbled when you're used to EDC Vegas, where you have like every known transportation, and then you go to Thailand where technically it's a first world country, but it operates kind of like a third world. Like it's still, it's rural areas, especially Phuket. Like it is not near the city at all.
How is it? It's Phuket?
It's Phuket.
Okay.
It's not fuck it.
It's not fuck it.
Dude, everyone's making the jokes that it's called fuck it, but never mind. Fuck it.
I've played Bangkok like twice, but EDC Thailand, I'd really want to go.
Yeah.
I hope there's another one. Obviously, this was a test run. We'll see if they do it again, but I hope there's another one.
Ooh, the street foods. I saw.
Yeah, I saw those too.
For me, it's I can't remember the name of it, but it's like an all German based festival in the UK, and they actually invited me out.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah, there's a couple. They invited me out last year. I think it's called like
Liquidity.
Yeah. I really want to go there.
I have been listening to Liquicity's YouTube channel since like
Forever.
2010.
Yes, same.
So Val and I had this conversation like literally 2 years ago where we were just talking about drum and bass. And I was just like, dude, I really hope it comes up. And then you were like, yeah, the amount of times I've heard like, oh yeah, it's on the come up. And then it never does.
This is the year of drum and bass.
Guess what?
And
It's here now.
Finally,
It's
I love
here.
it.
It is finally
and
here
on
now.
that matter, and on the matter of festivals that you should go to, that could be a bucket list festival, Rampage. in Belgium.
I heard Rampage is really good.
Yeah, started as just drum and bass. Now they also have dubstep people and some people from the US. I'm playing again this year.
I was actually
actually
saying you played there.
yeah, it's mid-February now. It's in the sport. It's like this huge like arena, 22,000 people. Last time they had like a DJ on a flying stage that was like hanging from the ceiling going across the glass floor and fireworks coming off the stage.
That
and
sounds dangerous as fuck, but
yeah, it's definitely it's like the craziest EDM production indoor that I've seen.
Would you do it?
In Belgium, in Antwerp.
Belgium, okay.
Would you go flying?
Yes, if they let me.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
You hear that, Rampage?
Tomorrowland, Rampage was on there. One thing that I think was going to be a little bit more feasible maybe this year would be Shambhala. Because that technically counts as an...
Technically.
When I recommend ADE Festival in Amsterdam, literally the best experience I've ever had because the whole city is taken over by EDM and like there's like just literally hundreds of clubs and it's just like pure music. And then of course they have like the production classes for people who are like learning in production networking.
I've heard only good things about that. That's really fun. I'm gonna be I think I'm going to Ultra in March. Actually just going. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Oh,
there you go.
But I think I'm
he's
going to be
becoming
there.
a raver, guys.
You get to enjoy.
Am I going to see any of you there? Or?
You might see Nan.
Maybe we're working it. We're working out details right
Maybe
now.
me.
We'll be at Friendship though.
I was actually about to say, would international festivals, would cruises count as an international festival?
Technically,
You know what?
yes.
Yeah, if you're in a different country, like when we were in the Bahamas.
You also go into international waters.
So technically, we are going on a
technically,
first international cruise.
You guys are going on your
festival.
because we're going to Friendship next
Semantics.
month.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, you two,
I think I really want to go. Maybe I just really want to go to Japan. You do. You've been, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just really want to go to Japan. So honestly, any festival in Japan, I know they do Ultra there, right? They do. Do they do EDC?
I believe they did.
Think they did.
I've never been to a festival in Japan, but the clubs are amazing.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I will throw this in there too. I've been seeing all over like social media that apparently this year is the most affordable year to go to Japan.
Correct. I've heard that too.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of I know my friends booked a flight to Japan
Why is that?
already.
No idea.
How
The
much is
yen
it?
is not good compared to the dollar right
There's one more thing. I don't know if this is accurate, so don't correct me here or correct me. Apparently, there's flights to not Tokyo, and it's essentially free. Because the problem is everyone's flying to Tokyo. So wait, I'm sorry. You fly to Tokyo, but then if you fly to other cities within the country, that's free.
Free?
Because they want you to go
within the country.
Yes, because they want you to go explore. They want you to go see more than just Tokyo.
I know
because it's so busy. So many people there. I can understand.
I know my friend. He booked a flight to Japan for February, I think, and he got the flight for like $300 to Japan. But coming back, it's like $1,000.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that's how they get you.
Huh. Well, maybe this is the year.
I think flights are actually just cheap right now because I was looking at flights to Paris, and for a round trip for Comfort Plus, which is like the bigger seats, was like $1,000. That's good. Yeah.
No, I've heard good things about Tokyo too, where like back and forth was actually 600 or something.
Whoa! Wow, that's very
if
good.
you can definitely do it and
that.
definitely explore more. Like if you do Tokyo, also maybe do Kyoto, because it's like the opposite of just lots of nature around. It's very, very pretty.
So I would love to hear some
yeah.
unreleased songs.
All
Get my headphones on.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Devin.
Wait for him to finish.
No,
his
it's okay. It's okay.
little
Go.
lunch.
No, you can't listen. You can't listen to it with us, Devin.
You have to with full attention. So I have some stuff with me, and I want to show more than just this one. So for the other ones, I have to look a little bit. But this is something I've been working on, and it doesn't have a name yet. That doesn't really help. But this is I'm still working on it. What you're going to hear is the export that I did for a show, actually for the show in China that I played on New Year's. So this is kind of like two IDs in one that could become the same song, maybe.
Wow.
But so it just kind of starts into the build up, and then there's one drop, and then there's a connection, and then there's another drop, and then it just abruptly ends.
Okay,
As these things. Yeah. So
let's go.
This is a file just literally straight from my show USB. Okay, I'm just going to play it with no more comment. Let's go.
Great intro.
All right.
You can turn it up all the way on there if you want.
I want to blast your ears out.
Blast
I want to blast it.
Okay.
It got sexy.
I could imagine the lasers already.
I can imagine Val. That's disgusting.
Wow. You can grind to that.
This is the moment to.
Yeah.
You could
Grind to
that,
dubstep,
yeah.
yes.
Literally, we have on these candies grind to dubstep.
Oh hell yeah! this part is to be on the microphone and be like, "Hey, you see how you're doing tonight?"
I want to see you grind to dubstep.
And then we have this very ominous little build up.
What's it saying?
That's a fire drop. Oh my god.
I literally feel it in my body right now.
Yeah, that's how far that one is.
Wow, that was sick.
That sounded so sexy.
Yeah.
Thank you. This has definitely been influenced by Frank.
Oh yeah.
Being
Love
on
Frank.
tour on my Stealing Fire tour as one of the openers, because he plays a lot of this kind of like darker and more sub heavy stuff. And he's making that kind of stuff too, and it's really good. By the way, shout out Ranks.
Yeah, shout out Frank.
Shout out Ryan.
And I was like, I kind of want to make something like that. Let's see.
Me too.
So I was like, yeah, me too. So this is kind of like that. That was the experiment here.
I can totally see it too, like the influence from him.
Yeah.
And that was just two IDs mixed into one.
Yeah, but it's they kind of have a similar vibe there.
They
So
do.
I was like, maybe they can be friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly,
They could be friends.
They have a little play
They're
date.
gonna like hang out. They just gotta call mom, be like, "Hey mom, can I stay out later?"
Also, real quick, I wanted to ask, so you obviously moved to Minneapolis.
Yes.
And that was how long ago now?
Almost 2 years.
Wow, it's been
Year and a
almost
half,
2 years already.
Year and a
Wow.
half, almost 2. Yeah, I think like around May. Yeah.
Well, just as someone who, I had pretty much just moved here not too long ago when you were still here in LA.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to find out a little bit more about what that was like why you moved, and then what life has been like out in Minneapolis.
And why Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a fair question. It does feel kind of like home a little bit in terms of the weather. You have actual seasons, and there's a couple of people out there, especially like Carmen, my VJ Neurite. She lives with Rob Dodge and Fusky, pretty close to me there. And there's a couple other homies, but like the main reason was kind of to just get out of LA and Also, I went to a rehab there that was really good, and then after the rehab, it was kind of like the idea, maybe it's not a good idea to move back to, like, go back to LA immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's always something. There's like always someone has either a birthday party, a housewarming party, a release party, someone's coming to there's
a lot
show,
of
there's an
temptation.
album.
A lot of parties,
Like,
yeah.
There's always a reason, and like that plus shows every weekend where you always have like a bottle of some kind of liquor on your rider was just like getting a little much after 8 years.
Yeah.
So then like I went to a little rehab out there, which was really cool and really cheap and fucking amazing for that price.
Yeah.
And then I just like decided to stay out there, and it just kind of worked out and started to make a lot of sense because it's also first of all, there's a Delta hub there, so flying out for shows is super easy, and LAX is a PETA,
Yeah.
as I've heard people say that. Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? PETA?
PETA.
When I think PETA is like
Pain
the...
in
bread.
the ass.
Or like, what is it? Isn't there a PETA
yeah,
or something?
PETA is like
What is
a
that?
vegan,
Yes.
a vegan thing. Yeah.
That's so funny.
But
Pain
Yeah.
in the ass.
so
LAX is a pain in the ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. If anyone picks you up from LAX, they
They're
truly
a real
love
friend.
you. They love
We
you.
That's a
love
love
you.
language.
That is a love language. Absolutely.
And so then I stayed out there a little bit, and I started teaching at this music production school called Slam Academy out there, which was also really nice. I just kind of felt like I need something where I have some kind of responsibility, where I need to leave the house at least once a week and work with other people. And that was really nice. And I just did that for like a long time there. That was super cool. And yeah, it just kind of worked out that way.
Wow, I seriously love that for you.
It's like your new home.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also like not there a lot. Because I
fair.
will then, like, now I was in Europe for a month and a half for like visit. I always visit my family over Christmas, and then I was in London right before I came here, and before I went to Germany, I was also in London for another week. There's also like always something, and then next weekend is actually kind of chill. But then in February, it's like the show here in LA, and then a show in Puerto Rico on the next weekend, and then Rampage on the weekend after that. So I'm like,
Yeah, this sounds like Val's schedule.
barely ever home anyway. Why not have it be in a calm place that I can easily fly out of, where I have some close friends nearby, and
That's
it's
so
kind
valid.
and the weather is kind of like home.
That makes so
in
much
Germany,
sense.
so.
It's like away from the
Interesting.
chaos.
Yeah.
You gotta like settle.
Rent is also a lot cheaper. It's like Midwest is like, I mean, it's almost close up to the, like it borders Canada. I mean, Minnesota is like up to the border, but like it's like that Midwestern hospitality that you have there. And it's very It's very
Minnesota.
warm.
Minnesota.
And the recovery community there is great. It's also the capital of board games in the US. Board game companies, which means that not only is there the AA app where you can see where there's like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting near you, in what kind of range, at what times, and there's always something like every hour in walking distance all day, like every day of the week.
Wow.
There's also an app for Magic the Gathering meetups, which are also every day, multiple ones in walking distance, because there's just so many game stores where they do like Warhammer 40K and
so
Magic
cool.
cards and like in the back. It's awesome. I love it.
And I'm guessing you do some of those?
Nerd centric. Yeah, I go to play Magic a lot.
Yeah, this
love
man
that.
was telling us off camera how he just organized all his Legos by color.
Oh yes.
yeah.
I have an idea for an artwork. Okay, I need them sorted.
No, you
One
don't.
day.
I can't wait to see it.
Valid.
How
Valid.
much longer it would take if you didn't organize it first, Devin?
That's actually
That's
really
true.
true.
Yeah.
It's like organizing your candy beads
Yeah.
in color.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like
I thought you were gonna say something.
I was. I don't want to. I was just gonna say it's like cleaning your house before getting creative. It's like having a clean space.
That's true.
Helps,
100%.
Yes.
Well, real quick, I wanted to you mentioned something just about like rehab and everything, and obviously you've been sober now for
Congrats.
2 years,
Almost.
Yeah.
almost 2
That's
years,
awesome.
which is awesome. I wanted to know a little more about like what that's been like, what that whole journey has been like, how it started, and yeah, because I think just to give some context, like we were all talking off camera too about how like going to festivals all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is it's kind of something that's part of the culture, is like drinking and let's just call it what it is, drug use. Like that is part of the culture in a way. And so if you're going to festivals all the time, there is that temptation. So yeah, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit more about what your journey's been like.
Yeah. So I mean, for some people, it's different for everyone. For me, it was the fact that it was a combination of the availability of those things and then personal life things that made me look for that as an escape. So if it had not been for that, it might have gone better, but whatever. But then eventually it led to me not being able to like handle these substances or control my use of them.
Right.
And it ended up just mostly being drinking, and then that leads to everything else.
Yeah.
So then eventually rehab was an idea, and that worked really well. And right after rehab, I had like 2 days after I got out, I played Electric Forest. And then some other shows as well. So it was kind of like an exposure therapy to then go back into touring right after that, where there's obviously people around you drinking. You can do it, obviously, to a degree. You can say, hey, I'm a sober artist. I don't want any drinks in my green room. Please have a sign on the door that says no drinks allowed inside. Or when I go on stage, that like it's all cleared out.
Right.
Like they can do that stuff, especially if it's a bigger festival. They can like take care of these things, but you can't control your environment entirely.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing. There's so many people.
Yeah.
So that was actually a really good exposure therapy to just very quickly get used to that. And I've done some like playing shows without drinking, because obviously I get really nervous and it's nice to have a drink before the show. But it's like 2 or 3 shows of, oh God, I'm very nervous. And then you're back in the rhythm and it's fine without drinking. And then suddenly I started meeting all these people or talking to all these people where I didn't even know they were sober too, like Steve Aoki or Dylan Francis. And then I was at EDC, the cruise, which is obviously like a casino on a boat for 5 days where people do bar
like
crawls.
Party 24/7.
Literally about like getting wasted. And then Dylan was there too, so I hit him up and I was like, hey, do you just want to hang out? Because I have no idea what I'm gonna do. And he was like, yeah, I'm sober too, man. Let's hang out.
Let's go.
And so
That's
we
sweet.
like nerded out and showed each other songs, and he's super nice. It was a really sweet time.
yeah.
And suddenly you like meet all these people, and then they also I found out they had AA meetings there too at on the boat in the morning.
Wow,
And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh my
really?
God, go
I didn't
on.
know that. That's really cool.
No,
Good job,
it was in the schedule as like Friends of Bill W. That's what it was called. So only people who are in AA would know what that meant as well.
The secret.
Yeah, and then it was like 5-6 people there, and it was really sweet. And we immediately all made like a WhatsApp group. And whenever someone was feeling overwhelmed or something, everyone else was like, "Oh, let's hang! Like I'm
so
coming. Oh, like where are
cute.
you?" And then everyone came to my sets, and it was so sweet. Like you're immediately that community is crazy. You're immediately like family with these people.
Yeah.
It feels like, because everyone's in the same boat. Nobody judges anything you've done in the past. There's no comparison of your trauma or the suffering that you've gone through, because you cannot compare those things.
Yeah.
That's like super subjective, and immediately you just have like this. You can just be incredibly raw and honest with these people, and they understand that. And yeah,
You guys are there
it's awesome.
supporting each other. That's awesome.
That's a
that
huge
Insomniac
support.
Pascal like offers that. You know, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Oh my
I
God.
had no idea. I think it's so funny how there's like a code word for it almost.
Yeah, it's like
kind
a
of-
secret club.
Yeah, well, because like they don't want anyone just like randomly going in. You know?
yeah, that's
of
true.
course.
So
Yeah,
it's like
of
if you know,
fucking it up.
yeah, if you know basis.
Yeah.
Well,
So, yeah.
that's great to hear, and I just want to say, like, just seeing you after, because it's been a while since I've seen you last, and I can just tell, man, like you're glowing, dude. Like,
You are
Thank you.
The smile I see on your face is different. It's definitely different.
It's
Yeah.
also different because when I left for Europe, I forgot to bring my shaving kit. Which is why I look the way I look right now. I can start twirling the ends of my mustache. I should do like a Karl Marx or something.
I think you should try.
I look crazy right now. I need to fix this.
Well, thank you for sharing, you know, that story
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
Really do appreciate you opening up and sharing that.
Yeah, I feel like each of us have, I mean, we've all been in the scene for a while now, so each of us have kind of been on like our own journey of sorts of just like, at least I can speak from my personal experience. I've just haven't really been doing anything when I go to festivals now, and honestly it's been feeling great, and I feel a lot more clear-minded just in my day-to-day. I feel like when I was doing stuff, like I was having a lot of trouble emotionally regulating, and that becomes a huge problem, I think, especially when you have like, you know, relationships and all that stuff. And so I think that what you said earlier just about the whole escapism thing, you know, doing that as a way to escape is really important for a lot of people to hear, because I think it's very easy to get wrapped up in that whole of like going to festivals, doing substances to escape your reality. You know,
and it
if you're
takes
not
a lot of, you know, courage to do it too, because sometimes you're surrounded by all of
100%.
all of this, like, and in a way it's kind of like FOMO, like, oh, I don't want to feel left out.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Just do you want
Yeah.
just come
and
on.
so yeah, it took a while for me to like, because it wasn't right for my mental health.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. Yeah.
If you like change your mindset a bit, suddenly being able to say no, like I have had people at festivals offer me a bump of something And there was no one else around. No one would have known if I had said
no
yes.
one's gonna know.
That's
But
true.
But
then
it's for
being
you.
able to then say no, it gives you such a feeling of empowerment.
Yeah.
suddenly.
Yeah, 'cause you're holding yourself accountable.
And in addition to that, like suddenly, like you might have up until that moment thought of yourself as someone who would have never been able to say no to that,
Yeah.
and then you do, and you change this little belief. Like that has now challenged this belief about yourself, and then maybe there are other things where you think, oh, I'm a person that just can't do that, or I could never do that. But now that you've done this thing, all these other beliefs about yourself start to crumble too, and it like makes change a lot more possible. My VJ Carmen, she also kind of stopped drinking when I got back out of rehab, just because it kind of made sense also with us touring together. And she said that for her, that did a big change for her, whereas like even just a drink or two before the show, yes, that would numb the anxiety before the show, but also the rush she feels getting off stage afterwards, all the adrenaline, that would be numbed as well. And now that's like so much more intense, and she likes that a lot more. And that's like, yeah.
Interesting.
It's like it's that perspective shift of
you
like
cannot numb selectively. It'll numb everything.
Well, it's like that perspective shift of like the feeling of anxiety and the feeling of excitement are actually the same.
You know what? You're right.
They're actually the same.
Yeah.
So if you perceive your anxiety as excitement, don't get me wrong, in a safe environment, like where you can perceive it as excitement, that's how you can like move through some anxiety feelings you might be having.
It's like a switch of mindset.
Yeah.
See it in a different light.
Yeah, so I actually, I kind of like resonate with that feeling before, because I had to take a break from raving because the substances started to affect me negatively, and I thought I was like excited, but in reality, I started to get a lot of anxiety. And I love EDM, I love the music. I'm like, okay, I had to like literally take a break and pull myself out. Like, I want to rave like forever. I want to be like that old grandma,
Rave to the grave.
raving to the grave. But like, what's practical for me? You know, like I can't be doing this all the time. Like I had my era, but like taking a step back, I'm able to like come into it with like, I'm just here with my friends to enjoy the music, you know, and like not get like wrapped up again, because sometimes it's like you just get lost in the sauce.
And then when you don't get wasted, you have to take your time to appreciate when you wake up in the morning and you're not hungover.
Yes!
For example, make that memory stick so that you don't forget that, because that's easy to forget. And this is, at least for me, I would get very drunk at shows, and then afterwards it's like, oh, where's an after party? Where are we going? And then you end up in someone's living room with a bunch of other strangers. It's not even an after party. Everyone's just kind of faded. Yeah. And it's like, and you're drunk, and maybe you've done coke, and you're talking to someone's ear off, and suddenly you have this sting in your chest that is like,
what am I doing?
Yeah, I don't want to be wasting so much. This is going nowhere. This is so much wasted energy. And that's like the thing I miss the least. Like I actually want to go home, I want to go to bed, and then I wake up at 9 a.m. and I feel good.
Dude, that description that you just gave, like, oh my God,
That's like perfect.
I've been there.
I know. We've all, I've noticed everyone I've been talking to about this feeling of like, you get this moment of, I don't want to be here. This is like,
it's like, I'm over it now. I'm done.
Exactly.
I want to be home.
But you can't stop talking.
And it's like you're fighting yourself. You're like, what am I? In a way, it's kind of like an out of body experience, because you're like, what am I doing? But your body's still doing it.
Yeah. So if you ever see someone staring off into space at an afters, that's probably the moment they're having.
Lost in the sauce, man.
Probably going
Ask them
through
if they're okay. All right? Maybe give them a hug.
Like, give them a water.
And then go up and put your hand on their shoulder and say, "You can go home. It's okay.
You're allowed.
It won't be okay. Yeah, I won't be upset. Yeah, exactly." Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
I love that.
We had another question too that I know is something you also have experience with. I know you're currently in a relationship, right? Correct?
No.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh, I could have sworn at EDC when we ran into each other in the elevator.
No.
Single man.
Okay.
I'm single. I've been single for like also almost 2 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, we were going to ask, because obviously I know a lot of people who have probably like followed you for a while, or even if they haven't, knew you were once in a polyamorous relationship when you were out here in LA.
Yeah.
And just as people who like we're pretty much all monogamous here for the most part.
Yeah.
We just wanted to know how that was, like what your experience with that was like.
In the time that it worked, it was really great. Like in the time that it was working out, and I have a lot of respect for people that can make that work. Like I think 7 Lions, for example, like is in a polyamorous relationship as well. And like I think for like a year or year and a half, it was working really well. And we had a good system too, where like we would all get together every week or two and talk about if anyone was feeling left out, if anyone had any concerns they wanted to voice, if anyone was feeling jealous, and like this level of over communication was really important.
Yeah.
And then there were other factors as well as drugs, mental health, etc. that like made everything fall apart.
Wow.
But yeah, it can work. It's definitely more effort for sure. It's like, do you want that? And make sure that the people that are part of this really actually want to be part of it.
Yeah. Because Daniel and I were talking earlier today just about how like it's even so much work just to navigate through conflict and stuff with one partner. Yeah. Imagine having to do that with multiple partners. Yeah.
And I feel like you're using a lot more emotional bandwidth.
It can be a lot more draining. Speaking of navigating with another partner, I just recently heard this somewhere and I thought that was really cool. Like if you are starting a new relationship and within like the first couple of months there's like a major, not something absolutely extreme, but like a major fight, a major problem that you have to get through, that's actually a really good thing because that'll show you how you're going to deal with other problems down the line. Yes. And if this is a relationship that's worth like investing into.
100%.
And because then from other people it's like, oh no, immediately something came up and no, this is actually a good chance.
We're human, we're not always going to be compatible.
Exactly.
Knowing how they choose to navigate through it and how you navigate through it with them is really important. I would say it's setting the precedence for the relationship.
And if you both kill it, it's like the biggest green flag for this good long-term relationship.
True.
There was a video I saw of this woman who was like, I think she was in a relationship for like 13 years, but then they got married 7 years in or something like that. And people were like, oh, if it's like 5 years in, you're still not married. She's like, no. I tested my relationship. That is what I did. Look for the person you can have a bad time with, because you can have a good time with anyone. Mm-hmm. You marry the person who, you can have a bad time, work it out, and like go through some real shit together and then come out the other side.
Also, love is a choice, Yeah. So...
Damn, Mickey spitting bars.
I'm just saying, it's a choice.
Love is a choice.
I love it. We're getting so deep today.
I know.
I love it.
I know. Interesting. So Val, what has been new
with you
and your show?
So
it's coming up.
Good job, Dev.
Someone else want to do this?
Because you just came off a tour, yeah?
So I started the Stealing Fire tour last year in autumn, and then it's technically still going on because there's still a couple more shows coming up that are going to be in the same realm and with the same setup. So I've always wanted to do live stuff on stage is the thing, like play some sort of thing. And the only thing I can really play is piano. So I wanted to introduce that into the set, but in a way where it kind of makes sense. Because I've seen other DJs do live stuff. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they have like a little drum pad and they play like samples or drum fills on that. But then it would be like a drum fill that was taken out of the song and then they play it themselves. But this music is so quantized that you have to play it perfectly, otherwise it's only going to sound worse. But then if you play it perfectly, it sounds exactly like it would if you hadn't cut it out, so why do it at all? So it's like I was trying to figure out, obviously it's cool for the show factor.
I'm still stuck on quantized.
but so I was trying to figure out a way to implement that in a way where it kind of makes sense that it's there and in a way where people can see it, because also, especially the bigger the stage, I remember at EDC Vegas I saw Porter Robinson and I couldn't even figure out where he was because the stage was so big. We were somewhere on the side, and like you definitely can't see the DJ. So if I have a keyboard up there, how are you gonna see that? Some DJs have like GoPros on a stand, and then that's on the wall. That's cool. Haywire did this thing with his keyboard where he had it tilted forward so that people could see it. That works in smaller venues.
Oh, cool.
And then I was playing around with an Oculus Rift or with like one of the Quest VR headsets. And when you leave your play area, it just turns on the cameras on the outside so that you can see where you actually are so you don't walk into a wall. And I was like, this way I can actually wear it all the time and do other things. And if I could just have this camera feed that I'm seeing of the world around me on the wall behind me, then I could wear this while I'm DJing. And so we had someone build a VR headset for me. They just took apart a PlayStation VR thing and put a camera in there that I can wear while I'm playing this glowing keyboard on stage. And then Carmen, who does the visuals from stage, can pull up the video feed from the camera on the wall. So that it's like this first person kind of view.
That's epic.
Of me playing the keyboard. So we've been doing that. And then both the headset and the keyboard were built by this guy from Chicago. He goes by Moldover. Il Gates, he connected me with him. He makes like custom DJ controllers and stuff. And I was like, can you make me a glowing keyboard? And it's like this crazy thing where all the keys are 3D printed. There's 30 LEDs in each key that you can like program the colors. Like you can have it so it's just dark and you press one note and it glows, and then all the adjacent notes kind of sparkle off like it's a water drop.
Wait, so is that different than like the Lumi keyboards?
So that was sort of the start idea. Imagine the Lumi keys, but it's a full-size keyboard and the entire key glows, not just a LED at the end that like illuminates the thing, sort of. Right. Like supercharged Lumi keys, basically.
Oh, wait, that's epic.
Maybe a futuristic version could even, like a 2.0 version could be that it's actually the entire key bed together makes a screen where it's like super high-res display in each key. Yeah. And then you could have like procedurally generated fish in an aquarium that swim away. Every time you press a key, they like shoo away. And
That's crazy.
But that's what we've been doing live with this keyboard and the headset, and then I also have a PlayStation controller where like I feel mapped it to Ableton and like play stuff on it.
That's
cool. Whoa.
And then we've kind of like put this throughout the set in parts where it makes sense. For example, for an intro to This Could Be Us, it's just Josh's voice and then I play the piano to it. Or halfway through the set, there's a 5-minute break where I'm just doing like a medley of Skrillex and Porter Robinson and other EDM songs on the piano for a bit before it goes into the next song, and like trying to find a way where it's like going back and forth between the DJ set and playing the keyboard, and having it be like at the end of one of the album songs, for example, at the end of Reconnect, there's a big solo, like a synth solo, and then when I play the song live, I just like do a different solo every night, and doing stuff like that, where it's like, okay, this kind of makes sense, where like that the fact that I'm doing it live and it's something different every night, but it's sort of what is there in the song, like usually, and so trying to implement this, and then so we've got a show in LA coming up. On February 8th it's going to be at the NOVO now. We have, by the time this comes out, we've probably announced this too, that we've moved it from the Shrine to the NOVO because the fires are obviously awful.
Valid.
And a lot of people have other things on their mind than raving. So the Shrine is a big venue, and so we have to move it to a slightly smaller venue because not a lot of people want to rave right now, but some people still do because they want to take their mind off the fire and other things. Yeah. So we're still doing it. It just has to be in a smaller place.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be
safe. That makes sense.
I know that I forget who I was talking to. I think it was your manager or somebody that I was talking to about this. This show, is it part of your tour, or is this like a show that you wanted to play? Like, I know there's like you're doing extra special lasers or production or something of that nature.
Technically part of the tour, but this is definitely extra special. I'm bringing out a lot of people to do live vocals, and we have. This is also the first time in a tour that we have a laser and a lighting guy that also programmed stuff specifically for the songs. And then this LA show especially also has a lot of songs that I've only made for that, and it's a little longer, and the set is a little different than on all the other tour nights, and we're trying to make it a bit special.
That's awesome.
No, it sounds really special. That sounds like a very unique experience that honestly...
You prepared for this show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You said This Could Be Us in there too, by the way, and that just took me back to when we shot the music video at the Tarzana house. And fun fact, if you watch that video back and you see a guy in a shark inflatable costume, it's your boy.
What's funny? I still remember that because I think I was at home about to go to bed. I was the ex-girlfriend at the time. She was there. She was asleep, and I get a call from Devin saying, "Nand, you need to come here right now. You need to come right now." I look over, I'm like, bro, it's 10 p.m. My girlfriend's asleep. I'm in bed. There's no way. Next thing I know, I get out of bed and I'm already there. I'm like, I need you to understand, I showered already.
You should have said, send dudes.
Yeah.
We're shooting a video. We need more men. No, that was a really cool night. Shout out James Winterhalter, by the way, of like just doing all of that in one night. That was crazy.
It was really well planned. But I think it's appropriate time to go into fan questions.
Yeah, so we got some fan questions for you.
Oh boy.
Fan questions.
Let's see.
Excited?
Wow.
I do not know any of these. I really don't. This sounded ironic, but I have no idea what these questions are.
Oh, okay. Strive Music asks, new genre you want to tackle?
Hello, Strive Music. That is a great question. Actually, I have worked on a lot of new stuff that kind of combines my love for emo screamo stuff that I grew up with.
Hell yeah.
With the electronic stuff that I'm doing now. And if you go very, very far back into my SoundCloud, the first upload is that kind of style too, where I'm actually singing. It's like a song that has verse and chorus, and there's guitar and there's some synth. And I've always been inspired by bands like Enter Shikari that combine EDM and band stuff in an interesting way. And so I've been sort of trying to write some songs where I'm singing again and trying to write lyrics, even though that's very difficult for me. But we'll see how that goes. And I kind of want to go into that and then maybe do those live too with singing and shit. We'll
That'd be
see.
sick.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did, because didn't you do that for Mixed Signals with weren't you were working on, or you song wrote? I think I saw you got songwriting credits for one of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love writing that kind of stuff too. I mean, I did the what was it, Too Much with Justin Bieber?
Right,
like
yeah.
I did the
Yeah,
piano
yeah.
chords and that kind of like poppy stuff. And for a while I had this, like I started this Still Kids side project for the more melodic stuff, but it was very future basy. And then I realized, if I like half-ass two things, then it's not going to work out that well. I just want to focus on one thing right now.
Yeah.
But I think I might be able to find a way where I can make that work in the Virtual Riot universe. We'll
That'd
see.
be sick. Yeah, because all those are under a different artist, I was gonna say, but like it would be cool to see that implemented into your own.
So you have like so many side
Oh
quests.
yeah, dude,
There's
Too Much
also-
is Grammy nominated. Like yeah. It's
so much
crazy,
lore
I
that I
know.
don't know
There's
about.
also Your Personal Tranquilizer side project, which
Yep.
is just drone and
I read that
ambient.
too.
Key
Yep.
Generator was my name before Virtual Riot.
So funny.
yeah.
How many side projects do you have?
I don't like
Or had.
side projects sounds like they're all active, but every once in a while I might go back into it. There's also still an idea for a chiptune Nintendo Core side project, and there might be SoundCloud accounts that no one knows about that are me or something. So
That's funny.
there are at
Wait.
least 5 side projects.
The Virtual Riot
What if he's
Core.
Richard Finger? He could just be.
Oh my god, are you know about
Or
Richard
Pickle.
Finger?
I have heard about him.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Huh.
No,
Interesting.
not
I think he's playing dumb. I think he is Richard Finger.
All right, well, Dustin's World asks, who are your favorite producers other than yourself?
I'm not my favorite producer. No. Actually, recently, again, because he just put out an album, Culprit, from the UK. He's awesome. He makes really crazy stuff. BT is someone I still go back to, Brian Trenzo, mostly known for trance, but his album Emotional Technology from, I think, 2002 is still one of the best electronic music albums to this day, in my opinion.
Wow.
Period. It's so good. Everyone should listen to that. I think holds the world record in most audio edits in one song. Still
Oh, wow.
On that
Oh
album.
shit, that's crazy.
I listen to a lot of, actually now this is my hipster moment. I listen to like Fortet and Burial and Bonobo and Tycho and all of that like for such a long time before now Fortet has sort of become a thing. Like now
Yeah.
EDM people know
Yeah.
about Fortet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Hey, I knew
that's
about
cool.
it.
I never, like I've been listening to this guy for forever. That's so cool. And I love how he actually like he loves rhythm and like
Yeah,
kind
the
of
whole
stuff.
country
Like,
rhythm
yeah,
thing.
like it's so he's fascinated by that. I love this.
And if you knew Fortet like back in the day, like you would be like, he's playing rhythm now?
Yeah, I like-
this whole arc is awesome. I love
Yeah.
everything about it. It's great.
What about drum and bass? Who's your favorite drum and bass artist
I mean,
right now?
I mean, of course, Cameron Crooked and Jason Status
Icons.
and Noisia are always awesome. I played a lot of Emperor, especially back when I was in Germany. I really liked his stuff, even though I heard he did sample a lot from Noisia tunes. Imanu's drum and bass stuff, also lovely.
Imanu.
And then there's this guy on SoundCloud goes by Vex, Vexx. Check him out.
Oh. I think I've seen one of his songs before.
I still sometimes think Vex is December, that those are the same people. I think they're both from Scandinavia, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, also December, great producer, underrated. I hope he's doing okay. There's always these IG mixes he puts out, but then there's never any music coming out, and I think he's incredibly talented. It's too much
That's
good
sick.
music out there.
I know. I
Yeah,
know.
so much music gets released every day or every Friday,
Literally,
especially.
yeah. We're
Thursday.
spoiled.
Thursday
I'm
night.
just saying.
Question from Cia Wave. What's had the biggest impact on your sound design, and how did that evolve your sound to how it is now?
Oh, you took my question.
Question poacher.
Well, dot wave.
I mean, it's definitely like an equal level of the stuff I listen to. Obviously, when Scary Monsters came out, that was like a whole, you can do that? kind of moment. Why is this so loud? What is this? Like, I knew about sidechaining, but that much? Like, obviously that has some influence like on the sound, and then on me trying to like, how to make that. And then I fail obviously at making that, but I learned so much about sound design while I'm doing that. And then the tools that come out at the same time, first Massive, then Serum, then you have Vital and Faceplan, that also sort of shapes, that gives you access to sounds that you didn't knew you liked, and you find them through that. So this has just as much of an influence on me, I feel like, as listening to music where I hear new stuff where I'm like, I like this, that kind of sound, and maybe I can do something with it. Like, I'm in general, and all of art is just you see things that you like, and they all have an influence on what you then put out. Like, I always feel just like I'm this is also why sometimes it's difficult for me to identify with my own music, because I obviously know where everything is taken from. Like, those kinds of melodies in this song, even if it's super EDM-y, I know that's like from my emo background and all the Underoath and Alexis on Fire and Berlin that I listen to, and like that's totally such a ripoff of that. And then like this type of sound is something I heard over here, but that's not dubstep at all, but it could work in dubstep. And then it's just all these pieces, and I put them together in a way where I like them, and like, hey, and now this is like how I would do it, but then I still know where everything kind of came from. Yeah. And sometimes it makes it strange to like it makes you a little dissociated from your art in a way sometimes. If I like, maybe I overthink these things.
But then it's new. But then it's new to someone else.
Yeah,
you know, because someone else who might not have heard any of those things hears it, and then it's just a completely different sound to them.
And also movies, both their soundtrack, but sometimes also just the movie and the vibe and the emotion you have when you come out of it has a lot of influence on my music sometimes. Like, I like watching a movie and really getting into it as inspiration for then writing songs. And it can be just the movie itself, not just its soundtrack. In general, I recommend doing anything but making music to get inspiration to make music.
Wait, so
I like that.
What do you mean by like disassociating from like the art?
Where it's like this doesn't feel like it's my song, or like I was merely a vessel that I took these, like there's the stream of ideas from other things that I've consumed and heard, and then I just channel that into this thing, and now it's there and it's in the world and it's its own thing, and people interact with it and interpret it their way, which is totally fine. That's what it's there for. Yeah. But that is now separate from me.
So that's interesting how you say dissociating, because like when I hear you talking about this, I just see it as like these are like all your personal experiences.
It's like a sponge.
So it's like you're really like as a listener seeing how you create. I'm like, wow, this is really a part of you. Like this song, it's like literally your situational experiences put into a creative musical piece.
Yes, to a degree. And some songs definitely have that more than others. And that's also why I am going a little more towards this singer-songwriter thing where I want to write more lyrics and sing myself, because that is even more of this is actually stuff that I'm processing currently, or that I'm feeling like that I want to channel into a song, and then I can identify with it more. Sometimes it's actually like there are songs that are just completely synthesized and without any lyrics, or something that I might have a really big attachment to because I might have felt a certain way, like either maybe I was angry and wanted to catharsis, so I made a really angry song and that is now connected with something that happened to me, or I am really sad and I need to either make a sad song to let that out or make a happy song to make myself feel better, that might now also have this personal attachment. And I've always found that if the songwriting comes from a place like that, where you work with how you feel right now and make music for yourself, either to make yourself feel better or to express how you feel so others might understand how you feel, that is usually like the best place you can come from, because then it's like this authenticity that is a lot stronger than just like great sound design and mixing, and like obviously that's important, but sometimes like, you know, those emo songs where it's like just some guy on a guitar and it's like trashily recorded, but you just feel
the emotion.
I think because a lot of those things are just like spur of the moment too, because like that's why I think I studied film in college, and like I could never like sit on an idea for too long because I had to operate within the means of feeling the emotion that inspired me to make this thing. Because if I sit on it for too long, I start overthinking it, and then it starts to dilute the emotion that like that I would be expressing in making the art.
I completely agree. I think my most like the most successful songs have usually been made within a day or like within a really quick amount of time. Like Idols, the song was one evening and then the music video was the next evening and then just upload. And Energy Drink, the same thing. It's just
That's crazy.
But like that's how
holding on to that feeling, and then if you plan it out over many weeks, it just kind of gets lost. And then usually the first demo is still your favorite.
Yeah.
But
You can't get over that first demo.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's how you know that like an idea that you have is kind of like it's real and and it's raw, because like when you kind of like hold off on an idea and you let it sit, I don't know, like this is just me creatively, I end up like putting it in the back burner. I never do anything with it. But like when I get something done out within a day, it's like that's like some of like my best work, and like I stand by that.
Sometimes like when I create videos, I don't even think about it. I'm just like, I'm gonna film this day, and then it just comes out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the most authentic it can be in that moment, because otherwise you try to come back to it later, you're trying to remember that feeling, you're trying to remember that spark of interest
and
or what have you.
And it doesn't feel the same anymore.
100%. Real quick question too for you, Val. Curious for me. Do you think you would be in the film industry if you weren't in music?
I would love that. Yes, I was thinking about that too. I
totally see it.
Made a lot of music videos with a friend of mine in school. We made stop motion videos.
We all had that era.
Always loved video editing. I made anime music videos.
I can see it. That makes sense. Premiere?
Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, dude.
Before.
I was on Windows.
Oh, you think
I used Windows Movie Maker at one point too.
Yeah, did you?
In high school. Yeah.
Okay.
No, like
that was
back-
the
Windows
first-
Movie Maker 1.
Oh.
There's an older one.
Oh,
That's
I don't know
the
if I
one we
did
all know with all
one.
the transitions and like the,
Oh, yeah,
the
wait,
blue
it
where
was
you have
that
the window on the
one.
side. But there's one that's like even more crappy looking with like a yellow tinted-ish window.
Back then, like
But
we
it's
didn't-
more stable.
Yeah, when we didn't have social media or like
That's pre-YouTube.
this technology, my friends and I would just like make home movies.
Yeah.
No,
It used to be so much fun.
Yeah, me and my friend, we had a YouTube channel right when YouTube just became a thing.
Whoa.
Like everything was 4:3 and the 5-star rating system and all of that. Yeah.
That's so funny.
No, I love that kind of
Iconic
stuff.
era. All right, next question. Ease_Isaac asked, how difficult was production when working with so many people on the Disciple Mega collabs? And I just want to add on top of that, I love those collabs, because when I got into the gym, listening to that music is honestly what got me consistent. Like this was like years ago, so like I hold like that music to heart. So like thank you for creating that type of music. It's awesome.
I love hearing that too. Like obviously I hear a lot of like cool stories about the music, but also people in gyms like working out to it. It seems to be really good for that. Even BT, we had a phone call and he was like, dude, actually I know your stuff. I listen to your stuff all the time in the gym. And I was like, that's awesome.
It's epic in the gym.
The mega collab was actually it was okay. We had a lot of people in the studio there when we made it, so it was just kind of like everyone just kind of takes turns, and then it's usually someone has to like wrap it up in the end. I think that was Willie Barely Live's job. To just like at the end give it all a polish or something, and we would all like contribute things. I think it was for that one collab. I think it was my idea that we have everyone shout out their name and then it's like a bass noise after it, like a big
that
intro.
was the best idea ever.
I thought it was really cool, and everyone just sent those in, and then we edited it together, and Virus Syndicate did the voices and stuff.
That still hits to this day.
But Willie definitely 100% finished the track because he did all the funny names at the end with this.
That's
Nice. Was it almost like someone was working on one track and then you're like, all right, move over. It's next track.
Or for like drop wise, it would sometimes be this bit would be Fox Stevenson and then Bailey and then
I was
me
literally
or
just
something.
about to say the fact that you guys had him on Disciple.
No, like I remember I went.
He's underrated.
Yeah,
Dude,
I remember I
one
went
of my
to.
favorite artists.
I went to a Disciple show and it was Fox. It was I think you were on there. Who else was there? Like Panda Eyes. Oh my God, it was like one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Sick.
I want to see
It was like
Fox
back in
Stevens
like
alive so bad.
like in
Yeah.
2016, 2017. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Damn.
One day.
What an
One day.
experience, dude.
Fox, if you're
I wish
watching
I
this,
experienced
I
that back
really
in the
hope
day.
Fox Stevenson's watching this. Like, just come to the States, please.
Please come here. We'd love to have you as well. Did you guys have one more
another
question?
one.
Question from _. What inspired the name Virtual Riot?
Oh, you had a bunch of people ask that actually.
Yeah.
No, we've had this story before. I was 14. I didn't know much English. I thought it sounded cool.
Well,
I thought it sounded really cool. And now I'm like stuck with it.
I didn't even like it. I'm just kidding.
It's okay because you can like it has proven useful over the years.
It's
and
proven other
fitting.
boundaries too.
And then with the whole simulation album, that all just kind of like
Just kind of worked
super
out.
well.
Yeah.
It starts with a V, like my first name, and Sonny Skrillex also starts with the same letter, so I thought, okay, that's cool. That matches what it's worth.
I was also gonna say, coincidentally, the initials are VR, and you said you're also using an Oculus
VR.
Quest.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just worked
It
out.
works.
Foreshadowing.
Just worked out.
That's
Super
funny.
dope.
All right, well, we're about at the end of the episode, and we would love to hear one more
song.
unreleased.
Play more.
Fine, but I get to decide which one.
Yeah.
Of course you are.
No,
We're gonna listen to some
absolutely
more.
not.
We're gonna listen to some more music on the bonus after too, so stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. This is something I made together with SHAQ, aka Diesel.
Oh, it's
Boy,
cool.
how many SHAQ collabs have
How
we
many
listened to at this
SHAQ
point?
collabs? So
How many
many
SHAQ
SHAQ
collabs
collabs.
will it take until we get SHAQ on the podcast?
Hell yeah,
Right.
that'd be awesome.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, this is actually really cool because he is rapping on this.
Stop
What?
it.
And
Oh, shit.
he is really good.
Didn't he just do one with Troy Boy as well?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because they sent me this, like, I had this whole folder of acapellas. They didn't name the folder Shaqapellas. Such a wasted
Missed opportunity.
Wasted
Yes,
opportunity.
but so yeah, this was so cool, and so we made a drum and bass because again,
yeah,
drum and
let's
bass because
go.
he also really likes drum and bass.
Does he really?
Yes.
Wow.
And the idea was we wanted some kind of foghorn drum and bass tune, but I tried to make a foghorn sound, and it sounds more like a frog, so it's froghorn. It's not the name. It's not the name of the song. Okay, I'm gonna just play you the intro and the first drop.
Okay.
This is me playing guitar.
Making moves at top billers, the upper echelons, elites, the sky builders, Don cigars, yacht villas, and
That is
drop
so
villas.
hard.
We making these dead presidents dance like Thriller. Here's a daily reminder that they not
he's
on
got
my level.
bars.
Keeping on any time of the day ain't on my bezel.
Why does this
Cashing
remind
out
me
on
of the
the
movie
money,
Kazam?
like a rental. Pops and calamari's all I see on my menu. Bought a couple I'm up on the hill in the villa. Nutella the filler, but the chinchillas and vanilla. Candy Grilla the Ville when I go chill in Brazilla. Pina coladas over the fritters and Anguilla. Scoping the mountains, open options for the manor. Name a variety garage looking like a Fanta. Why would I panic? I'm up Bahamas on a hammock. Put in my work, 4 rings for my damage.
It does sound like a frog.
Right? Snare change.
Oh yeah. I love how punchy it is.
Dance like Thriller.
I like the lyrics though. He's like smart and funny, but it's also PG, no swear words or anything.
4 rings for my damage.
We layered some dog barks under these.
Oh.
All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna
drum
stop
break.
it there.
Fire.
Crazy.
Wow.
I can't unhear the
My
frog.
God.
Yeah,
And the dog barks.
And the
Dogs and
barks.
frogs.
barks.
Crazy.
a lot of animals in this song.
Love.
Animal core.
Yeah, no, I love the lyrics. It's like family friendly, but also smart and funny. Like it's hitting a good spot.
You're
Where
spinning
Throw it on a
Bars.
Kids Bop album.
And you guys are contributing to making drum and bass bigger because SHAQ is very
Yes.
big and you are
Oh,
very
yeah.
big and it's all American audience and then boom, drum and bass.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There we
SHAQ
go.
has bars,
seems to
man.
really be the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
It is. We're finally here, Val. We've come a long way.
The drum and bass year has arrived.
I've talked about it at least 3 other podcast episodes. I'm like, dude, Val and I've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Last
Guess
year was
what?
big too. I mean, Baradan was everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So
100%.
good sign.
Wow.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, we are going to go ahead and go over to the bonus episode, which, if you didn't know, by the way, we have a Patreon that you can go and check out. We shoot bonus content for that. We've got exclusive playlists on there. We do early access episodes. Definitely go and check that out if you haven't already. Of everyone's names, all our patrons' names on screen. As
This
I'm
person's
saying
really,
this.
really cool. This one is too.
Can you put my Patreon on screen too?
That person's on there, too.
Wait, oh, you have one too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we got
well,
you.
go ahead and check out Val's Patreon as well.
If you're a producer,
we'll link
especially,
it.
there's tons of stuff, Ableton racks and samples and presets. And
We'll link that in
I will
the
be
description
subscribing.
as well. And then also, real quick before we conclude, too, big shout out to our sponsors, being Boom Boom scented nasal sticks, which are perfect for festivals, for helping with anxiety, nausea, just giving you a little energy boost at the festival. You name it. They really do smell great.
Or just to open up your sinuses.
Yeah, really, honestly. If you got
it is
allergies,
winter. You know, you might get a cold soon. That will work.
I've been using it the whole podcast.
you have been. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bryn's been hooked
She's stuck
recently.
on
I'm hooked.
And then also, of course, Clutch Loop as well. If you haven't already, phone tethers for your phone to make sure your phones don't get stolen at festivals. Go
Mine
and check
says
them out
Lost Lands.
as well. Yeah. They had an exclusive Lost Lands drop
Yeah.
as well.
They're doing like a whole bunch of artist collab ones too next year.
Yeah.
In case you're interested, we can
Yeah.
get a Virtual Riot one made. Wait,
Aw.
Yeah, literally.
Virtual
a Riot loop? Virtual loop?
VR
Virtual
loop.
VR loop.
VR loop.
I
There you go.
appreciate the
Oh
effort.
yeah.
He's like, it's not as good as Shaka Palace.
Honestly, Shaka Bell's hit. It hit so hard.
Wait, go to his show.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
plug yourself.
Go
Go
to
to his
our
show.
show coming up on the 8th
At
at
the
the
NOVO.
NOVO.
Yes.
Yes, go and grab tickets while you can. This will be out on the 3rd. We actually moved the release date for this up a little early so that people have enough time to go and grab
Oh.
tickets.
Nice. Also, direct support is Must Die back-to-back Sizzy, and then we have Sweet
Oh.
Tooth and Ranks.
Wow.
Wow, that's a
Stacked.
stacked.
Yeah.
Do you have
So-
anything else coming up besides your show?
Like music?
So the SHAQ collab, probably soon. There might be more things, depending also on when this is being uploaded.
The 3rd.
Okay.
Of February.
Yeah, I don't know what will have happened by then. Things could have happened.
Lock and change in 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
That's true.
Facts.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much again for being here. We love you guys. And
Take it away, Dan.
Appreciate y'all. Go ahead and smash that notification bell. Make sure that you are subscribed, you like, you comment, give us all the love and oodle doodles, and let us know who you want in the next episode. And we'll catch you in the bonus episode. Bye.
Bye.
see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.